What are these 5 things? The first one is do something that you'd like to accomplish. The second is get some physical activity. The third is to step away from social media a little bit. The fourth is try laughing and smiling. And the fifth one is practice gratitude. I'm going to go into more detail about all of these steps. And if you stick around until the end of this video, I'm also going to share with you a 6th tip that can help improve your mental health today. Hi, and welcome back to another episode of From Life to Death with Jeff Heveron. I'm glad that you're here today, and I know that we've talked a lot about mental health issues. It's one of the things that I personally struggle with a lot, and I know if you're watching these videos, you probably are too. So hopefully, these things will help. So the first one that we talked about is do one thing that you'd like to accomplish. Now, I understand this seems very obvious, but it's very hard to get out of that habit of not doing the things that you're supposed to be doing. I know. I can sit in a chair all day long thinking about all the things that I need to accomplish and not get one of them done. So what I'm talking about here is just doing one small thing. Let's say your plan for the day is to get all your work done, to get the dishes done, to clean out the basement, to feed the dog, all these different things that you have to do, and you're just stuck and having trouble getting any of them done. Pick one small thing that you'd like to accomplish. Maybe it's going to the kitchen and washing off the sponge, the dirty sponge. That's it. You're just going to go and wash off the dirty sponge. The reason we're going to try and accomplish this is because this gets us into the habit of doing some small things that are easy to accomplish and can have a big impact overall. By doing a lot of little things, we tend to start to build up to bigger things, and the bigger things seem less intimidating. One of the things that I like to do, and I've mentioned this in past videos, is when I am making a list of things that I'd like to accomplish, I also put that first action step in there. So if I need to clean the sponge by the sink, then the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the kitchen, get the water to a tolerable temperature, and get the soap out. So those are, kind of first action steps. And if I know what I have to do and I don't have to think about that, even though it may seem obvious what I've got to do anyway, it just makes it easier to accomplish that task. So the next thing we'll talk about is getting some physical activity. I know getting physical activity isn't always easy for everyone, and for some of us, we absolutely love and thrive on it. But typically, if we're in a depressed state, an anxious state, an overwhelmed state, an overstimulated state, we're really stuck, and the last thing in the world that we want to do is get any type of physical activity. Now, I'm not saying you've got to go out and run a marathon. I'm not saying you've got to go to the gym. Those things are things that we want to work up to, not things that we want to start out with. Again, in some of my past videos, we've talked about doing one sit-up. That's it. Just one sit-up, doing one push-up. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less, just one sit-up. And if we accomplish that, then we're probably going to be motivated to do one more sit-up, or 5 more sit-ups, or 10 more sit-ups, or maybe even a whole workout. Another thing we can think about doing is just walking around the house. If it's decent weather, just walk around the outside of the house, apartment complex, wherever you live. Maybe there's a park or a sidewalk or even a store nearby. Just take that time to go and do that little bit of physical activity. Maybe you've got a big house and you've got 2 stories. You can walk from the top floor all the way to the basement and back up again 3 or 4 times. There are a lot of simple things that you can do to get that type of physical activity. And what that does is that helps with the hormones, it helps with the chemical balance in your body to combat things like anxiety, depression, being overwhelmed, and a lot of these mental health issues that we deal with. That's a huge thing. You don't have to overcomplicate it. Keep it simple. And don't be putting things in front of yourself that make you fearful. Don't say that my goal for today is to go and lift 8,000 pounds at the gym. You don't have to worry about overdoing it. We're just looking to do something. And all these steps, we're really just looking to do something basic just to get us started. The third one is stepping away from social media. I know I am just as guilty as the next person, and if you've got an Android phone, I'm not sure if the iPhones do it as well, but the Android phone, once a week, it tells me how much time I've spent on social media. And I look at that number and it blows me away. It absolutely blows me away. I use Facebook for work. I use Instagram for work. I use TikTok for work. I use a lot of these social media platforms to find tips and tricks and things that are helpful and beneficial in my life. But at the same time, I get stuck in a rut of just looking at this and not actually moving on to the things that I need to do. So stepping away from social media is a big thing. Not only that, a lot of times looking at social media posts can cause us resentments. They can cause low self-esteem. They can have a horrible, horrible impact on us. Think about how many times you've gone on social media and been upset by something you saw. How many times you've lost a friend over a post. These things stay with us, and especially for us that struggle with different issues, they don't go away too easily. Step away from social media a little bit. Pick some times throughout the day where you're actually going to put the phone down, turn the computer off, get away. You can go and take that time to do your physical activity. You can take the time to go and accomplish one of those tasks that you want to do. But just make a conscious effort to step away from it. And I know it's difficult to do sometimes, but I believe in you. I believe you can do it. So the fourth thing is try laughing and smiling. If I just smile, I just put a smile on my face, I instantly feel more energized. I automatically feel happier just by smiling. Now, I know if I go and stand in the mirror and put a goofy smile on and stare at myself, I'm probably going to end up laughing at myself for doing that. But when I'm feeling my lowest, when I'm feeling my worst, if I just force myself to smile, it changes so much. It makes me feel like I'm to that point where I could possibly get out of that depression that I'm in, that I could possibly get away from that resentment that I'm having, that I could break out of that anxiety or overwhelming state that I'm in. Just try that. Now, humor is a great thing. I don't know if any of you like comedians or stand-up comedy or anything. Watching some stand-up comedy, watching a comedy show or movie, reading some jokes. There are lots of little things, even thinking about jokes that people have told us. What's the funniest joke that anyone has ever told you? Think about that. Or even, hey, let's go back to social media. What's the funniest meme you've ever seen? Okay, keep that handy. Keep those things handy. And when you are having a rough time and a bad day, and you're sad, depressed, anxious, lonely, whatever it is, think about that thing that made you laugh so hard. Okay? These are tools. These are all tools that we get to have in our toolkit for life. And they help us out of these issues that we're having. So the last one is practicing gratitude. And I'm sure you've heard this. I know some of you have actually done this before, but what I want you to do is pause this video and write down 5 things that you're grateful for. Why didn't you pause it? You're still not pausing. Come on. Please, just pause. 5 things. It'll only take you 2 minutes, tops. All right, thank you. I appreciate that. So writing down these things, how did you feel by the time you got to that 5th one? Did you feel any different? If you were in a sad or depressed, anxious, or lonely state before, did you feel a little bit different by writing those things down? I know when I start thinking about the things that I'm grateful for, it really starts to change me, because I can be sitting there wallowing in my own sadness for days and weeks and months, whatever it is, and I don't have a toolkit to help me get out of that. So I'm not going to change that. But if I start doing things like this, especially writing down things that I'm grateful for, that changes so much. All of a sudden, it helps me to understand why I'm okay in life, why I'm a good person, why things are not as bad as I make them out to be. If you found it easy to write down those 5 things, keep the list going. At the end of this video, go ahead and keep writing down more things that you're grateful for. Maybe even make a plan to every single morning wake up and write down 5 things that you're grateful for. See what it does for you. See how that changes your life. See what a difference that can make for you, and especially in your mental health. So, as I promised, if you stuck around, I was going to give you a bonus, a 6th tip for improving your mental health. And this is something that you can do today. You can do it right after you're done watching this video. Do something for someone else. I know it seems obvious. It sounds obvious. You've probably done it in the past. And think about how it made you feel. Go and do something for someone else. Maybe it's just picking up the phone and calling someone. Maybe it's actually going out and doing a little project for a friend or family member. Maybe it's helping someone with something that you feel they really needed help with, and this is your time to go and do it. And if you want to bring the humility aspect into it, there are a lot of times you can do these things and not even tell somebody. How good does that make you feel to be able to go and do something for someone, not even let them know that you did it? And just knowing that is the type of person that you are, is that you're going to go and do something for someone else. It's a beautiful thing. It's a very beautiful thing. I know in my life, I struggle with all these different facets, all these different aspects. I want to be a super productive person 24/7. And unfortunately, I can't. I'm making this video right now. And the reason that I'm making this video right now is because I use these tools. I used every single one of these tools. I had to get myself to that point where I could stand here in front of the camera, set up my lights, get everything ready, and I've got to edit the video after this too. But I'm going to do that right away. I'm not going to procrastinate. I'm not going to wait. Right now I feel motivated to do it because I actually took the time to get up and do something, get one thing accomplished. I got away from social media. I got some physical activity. I smiled and I laughed. I was practicing gratitude because I was thinking about how much this would help others, and how grateful I was for the opportunity to do that. And of course, the bonus is that right now I'm doing something for someone else. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, I know you hear it on every single video, but liking and subscribing does help. It does help to build the channel. The YouTube algorithms are so difficult to break through. So please, if you enjoyed this, like and subscribe. I do hate to ask that, but it helps us all. Thank you again. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you again soon.